scenery again. On Bantons Lake up at the Wyreside Complex. Literally only been here probably less than an hour with the rods in the water. Literally got a little bay down to my left, saw the fish nut out. Just quickly reeled one rod in, recast it. A few handfuls of tuna over the top and it's gone off literally within 5 minutes. Absolute stunner, really dark fish. It's really weedy out there, it had me in the weed for quite a bit. Pretty lucky to get it in really, but everything's held and got a first fish on the bank, so we've still got 48 hours to go. So, happy days. Right, well, couldn't have asked for a better start to episode 6. Like I say, I'm down on Bantons Lake on the Wyreside Complex. It's the first time I've ever fished a lake, so really happy to have a fish under my belt so quickly. I arrived this morning about probably about 7:15. Did a good couple of laps of the lake. Couldn't see anything showing at all, so we had nothing to go off. So I set up in a swim called a fence. Now, there's a few people on, I think there's about 6 other anglers on, but they're all mainly down the other end of the lake and there's no one in this corner at all. I've got like there's an area called Deep Bay down to my left. There's no one in there at all. And this swim gives me access to some of the open water in front, but also the bay down to my left. So when I first got here, I had to feel around with the marker, and it's really weedy out there. There's big banks of Canadian pondweed, but there are a lot of clear areas. So I found a clear spot out in front, so I put 2 rods on that, and maybe about a kilo of bait just spread over the top of it. And then I sort of repositioned my rod down into Deep Bay down to my left. And then not long after I put it out, I saw a fish stick its head out, just literally probably 2 rod lengths from the bank, just down to my left. There's a little clearing in the trees. So whip 1 rod in, just put that rod on a single bank stick, flicked it out. Probably a handful or so of the Pacific tuna, just whole and chopped. And then stiff hinge over the top, and it's literally gone off within 5 minutes. So had me in and out of the weed, but luckily everything held and managed to get it on the mat. So, like I say, pressure's off a bit now, but we've got 36 hours left, so fingers crossed we might be able to nick another one. I'll show you how I'm fishing that later on, but I'll just check back in with you this evening if nothing else happens before. Right, so I've just got all 3 rods out for the evening now. Nothing else happened today, but I've seen a fair few fish in the area, so I'm crossing my fingers I might be able to nick another one tonight. I've got 2 rods straight out in front on a nice clear area. I had a feel around the mark before, and if you go sort of a couple of rod lengths to the right of it or behind, you're just hitting thick Canadian pondweed. As I say, it's a nice big clear area, so hopefully they'll be moving through there during the night. And then my left hand rod I've put down back and towards the Deep Bay to my left. I'm going to leave my little margin spot alone for tonight. It's a bit too far to get to during the night because I've got a rod on a single bank stick. So, but I've been trickling bait in there all through the day. Only sort of a handful every now and again just to keep them interested, but hopefully I'll give them a bit of a free munch tonight and then get a rod back down there tomorrow if I see a fish down there. So, like I say, I'm fairly confident for tonight because I've seen a few fish show out in front, so hopefully we'll nick one during the night, but if not, I'll catch up with you in the morning. I'm pretty glad I didn't have this last night. We had some absolutely crazy weather last night. Gale force wind, torrential rain. Just one of those nights where you're just expecting the bivvy to disappear from over your head at any minute, but luckily it didn't. And I'm still here. So I didn't get any sleep at all last night. I think I just dozed off as it went light again this morning. And then I'd sort of just come to, I just sat on the end of the bed watching the rods and it's ripped off. So it's a nice big low pressure front moving in, so hopefully I'll get the heads down and be able to have a few more. So I'm happy with 2 if I don't have anything else though. New water. Happy days. Right, so just while I've got the rods out the water, I thought I'd just give you a quick run through of the rig that I've been using on this session. If you've seen any of my diary pieces before, it's not a million miles away from what you've seen me use on Blake. It's just a few subtle differences because of the rules on Bantons. So first thing to note, there's a complete leader band on Wyreside. So this is the dark matter tungsten tubing just to pin everything down. And then I've switched over to a leg clip. The spots that I'm fishing, they're quite clear and gravelly, so there's no need to worry about the leg plugging into any silt, so I've no need to use my normal helicopter setup or anything like that. But having said that, this is one of the Carp quick release leg clips, so it's got no serration on the tail end there, so the tail rubber pops off straight away. Like I said, it's really weedy out there, so you want to be dropping a lead as soon as you lift into the fish. And then semi-stiff hinge, same as you've seen me use a million times before. Only difference is this is a barbed hook, because again it's barbed hooks only on here. And to top it all off, a Pacific tuna cork ball pop-up. So that's what's done the damage for me on this session. I'm just about to get this rod back out and hopefully be able to nick another. Right, so just coming into the last evening of the session now. Sun's just dipping away behind the horizon. It's been a pretty quiet day today really. Luckily the weather's changed. I say last night was absolutely horrific. I thought the bivvy was going to disappear from over my head at one point. Rain pretty much lasted all night up until about dinner time today really. It's been on and off. But luckily the last couple of hours it's gone nice again now. The sun's come out. It's warmed up quite a bit. So, like I said, it's been pretty quiet. I haven't really seen anything during the day today. I did put a rod back down on my little margin spot for a couple of hours earlier on when it did warm up, but nothing came of that unfortunately. But the other spots weren't doing anything, so it didn't have to reel one rod in. So I'm just about to recast the rod for the night. I've repositioned one rod slightly further right. I found another clear spot in the weed, so I've put a bit of bait on that, probably about half a kilo, the Pacific tuna. I'm just going to put one rod on that. I'll leave the other 2 where I had that fish from this morning and just see what happens. So I'm not going to put a rod down in the deep bay tonight because it didn't do anything last night and the wind's sort of pushing out of there a little bit now, so can't really see there being many fish in there. So yeah, I'll get the rods out for the night and then hopefully if there's nothing to report during the night I might be able to nick one in the morning before I have to leave. Speak to you soon. Right, well that's almost it now unfortunately. I've got just under an hour before I need to be packed up and gone. So I'm just going to get the bivvy down and just sit behind the rods for a little while. It's a shame I've got to pack up really, because it's looking absolutely spot on for it. And there's 2 fish just stuck their heads up right over my spot, so I'm still crossing my fingers for a last minute fish. Did have a little occurrence on the middle rod just before it went light this morning, which in hindsight I probably should have hit really. It was just a drop back which stopped just as it got to the rod, but hindsight's a wonderful thing when it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you're still half asleep. But like I say, I'm more than happy. I haven't had 2 fish on a new water, so going home a happy angler anyway. So I'll definitely be back after seeing them 2 fish. They're both absolute stunners, nice dark fish. So I hope you've enjoyed the diary piece anyway, and I'll catch up with you the next time I'm out on the bank. Tight lines.